exec, el Vele, el fenómeno que todos quieren ser, el chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to episode 129 of the Exec Talk podcast. I'm your host, Elva Les. How are we doing? I'm resting my eyes a little bit. That's why I don't have no sunglasses on today, no glasses. You know, I'm resting my eyes a little bit, giving them a little rest. But first thing I got to say is how you doing? God bless y'all. We were treated to an incredible Olympic weekend, surprise NASCAR race that I did not know about that sprung on me as it was starting. We're going to talk about the USA basketball team, men's, and the women. When women one by one, that was crazy as well. But the men's was the semifinal and the final, the gold medal game, was something that I will forever, ever remember for the rest of my life. And this is what it is. But, you know, that we'll get to all that. We'll get to NFL preseason, where we got excited. We saw some flashes of some superstar talent by all the rookie quarterbacks, and we saw some rookies do some good things. Just preseason week 1, though, you know, nothing crazy. But, yeah, thank you guys for joining me. As always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all my socials, hit the comments, and thank you for being here. Now, the first thing I'm going to show y'all, and I'm going to show it to you because I've kept this and I have not worn it since I bought it in 2022, is this right here. This right here. You know why I'm showing you this? Because of the guy that built this dynasty, Steph Curry. I told you that at the beginning of the Olympics, I was like, if there's a guy who can just mess up the whole math for everybody, and no matter how good a defense they're playing, how good they're playing, that we can dish him out, and once he gets loose, there is no stopping him, and we are unbeatable, it was Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry puts the fear of God into his opponents. Steph Curry makes opponents go guard him, double team him, while the second greatest player of all time and the best pure scorer, or one of the 3 best pure scorers of all time, is wide open on the left wing. But we'll get to that. First of all, let's start with the semifinal. The semifinal game versus Serbia was some of the greatest basketball that I have ever witnessed in my life. Between shot making, playmaking, and defense, and just aura and execution, moments, tense stakes. What was a stake? It was absolutely incredible. Serbia shot the lights out for 3 quarters. 30 minutes of that game was Serbia shooting 50% from 3, which was the formula to beat the USA. And then they go 0 for 10 from 3 in the 4th. Things get tight. But we were down 17 in the 3rd. 17 points. And we came back. But what kept us in this game at the beginning, and there wasn't a 20-point lead, wasn't a 25-point lead, was Steph Curry. Because as soon as he touched the ball, as soon as the ball was tipped off, within a minute and a half, Steph shot his first 3. Bucket. And from there, he proceeded to score 17 of the USA's first 25 points in the first quarter. Finishes the half with 20, if I do believe. Opens the second half, and now we're getting a little bit more into a rhythm, but at this point, Bojan Bogdanovic a guy named Marjanovic, I believe, or Taranovic. And then Jokic didn't hit from three, but he was doing Jokic things with the pass. And in the third quarter, we had a little spurt from Ant in the first a little bit. KD got involved. But the third was just about getting it close enough. Remember, it is 4 10-minute quarters, not 12. So it was just about getting close enough. What was close enough? Single digits. Once we got it under single digits, it was just a matter of execution. It was just a matter of executing. And boy, did we execute. Starting off, the guy who got us very close to to that lead getting cut down, Joel Embiid played magnificent. This is the game we needed him for. This is why we tried to convince him to play for USA for 2 years. And this is the game he showed up in. Good job, Joel. Good job. Next, a guy who has shown up all tournament long, Anthony Davis, especially on the defensive end. Block shots. I think he had 3 or 4 blocks in the last 2 games each. Absolute force, and still dunking, still getting offensive rebounds, securing defensive rebounds. Beautiful. The next guy who helped in this quest to get to the finals, LeBron James. And listen, I know that I so-called hate on LeBron because of what he did to when he left to Miami, but I have never denied his basketball greatness. And they were talking about after this game, what if we saw LeBron and his career was just as a point guard? Well, I think we saw that. He was always pass first. They had to implore him to shoot. That's what Dwayne Wade did when they lost against Dallas in 2011 finals. He had to tell him, yo, take the shots. Because he was deferring. He didn't understand his greatness yet. And that's why they say, oh, he came to Miami to learn how to win. And Dwayne Wade taught him how to win. But besides that, the guy and Magic Johnson have, and maybe John Stockton, but his was a lot of Karl Malone. Him, Jason Kidd, Magic, those type of passers, Jokic, those type of passers is an art form. An absolute art form. Luka, absolute art form. And it's beautiful to watch. King James, or how they called him, La Captain America, which I don't know why he said Avengers Assemble, so it makes sense that he was going to assemble the Avengers, and he's La Captain America. I get it. But at 39 years old, comes up with the second ever triple-double and only player ever to have more than one in Olympic history. 16, 10, and 12, I believe. Incredible. Incredible. Down the stretch, when we needed a bucket and we were in transition, he just went to the hoop. And since this is a small sample size where you can give everything and still recover for the season, unlike the 82-game season, he had fresh legs. So he can explode. Still had that close to 40-inch vert. Dunked on people. Skying for rebounds. Playing defense on Nikola Jokic. Wanting the assignment. And doing a good job. So LeBron, I got to give you props, man. On that performance. Remember, this is just the semifinal game. We'll get to the final. But each game had so much aura and standing, weight, to them that you have to talk about it in separate. The next guy that I want to shout out for that semifinal game is the guy who sealed it with a shot that he's done for his whole life, his whole career, and a shot that he's known for. The Durantula, easy money sniper, the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant. The greatest men's Olympic basketball player in history, leading scorer ever, past Lisa Leslie in this game as the leading scorer. Or was it the last game of pool play? He passed Lisa Leslie for the most points ever, men's or women's, in Olympic basketball for the U.S. And it's funny because, like, I can't wait till Carmelo does his podcast and talks about this, because he was on the sideline for both games on the other side of the court, but on courtside seats. And with 30 clock running down from 40 seconds, around 33 seconds left, you see KD get the ball top of the key, and Joel Embiid is coming to set a screen. But the bench, KD and Carmelo, were both telling Embiid, get out of there. Let him have the one-on-one. Embiid listened. And what happened? KD, in and out, sidestep, 20, what is that, like a 20-footer, 21-footer, wet, to put us up 2, I believe, to give us the lead. It was tied at that point. Serbia missed a wide open 3 coming down the stretch. Wide open, that would have made it a lot tougher for us to come back. But that 17-point comeback is the greatest comeback in Olympic history. And the guy who took us there, start to finish, was Wardell Stephen Curry. Okay? The greatest shooter God has ever created. Shout out to Stephen A. My favorite player. Somebody that when I was talking about in the podcast before, and I was saying, hey guys, he's going to wake up. I knew it was going to happen. And the reason why I knew Steph was going to wake up at some point was because Steph is too good. Steph loves the moment too much. And he's such an iconic player that you just, and he wanted it that bad. This is the only time he's been on the Olympic team. He's won 2 world championships, but this is the Olympics. His last time at 35 years old as an icon. And what does he do? Scores the second most points in a USA basketball game ever, behind Carmelo Anthony, who scored 37. Steph scored 36, goes 9 for 14 from 3. 9 for 14. Okay? Absolutely incredible shot making, and you just knew it was going to happen. And in the fourth quarter, Steph scored 12. No. Yes. In the semifinal, he did his thing in the semifinal. The final was incredible. But in the semifinal, he did his thing. He scored 36 in the comeback. We come back from 17 down at the end of the third with 12 seconds left in the third or something like that. 17 down. We forced Serbia and Nikola Jokic to go to the bronze medal game. And we stave off embarrassment for one game. And the reason I say embarrassment is because when you put the 3 icons of an era, the guys who have between them 10 championships, although Steph and KD did it together, but it's still 10, 4 for Curry, 4 for LeBron, 2 for KD, 10 championships. And I believe it's 7 MVPs. LeBron has 4. Curry has 2. Yeah, and then KD has 1. And more than 30 first-team All-NBAs. And just known as them guys. At 35, 36, and 39 years old. Is absolutely incredible and sad at the same time, because that means that in the next Olympics, who are home soil in LA, by the way, the closing ceremonies was cool. It was dope. I liked it. Shout out to Snoop Dogg, Billie Eilish, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Loved that performance. Her killed the national anthem. Tom Cruise jumping off the stadium was cool as hell. The bike, all that. Loved it. Can't wait for 2028. Baseball got added. Loved it. Love it. Let's see who we send over there. Because we're going to send the A squad. So is Puerto Rico. So is Dominican Republic. So is Venezuela. So is Cuba. They're gonna send them squads. Japan with Otani, Yamamoto, probably Sasaki. Yeah. It's going to be nice. But for Steph to wake up in the biggest moment, needed every single bucket. Every single bucket from him is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And he sealed it with 2 giant free throws to go up 4 when we were up 2. So that's the semifinal. Now let's go to the final versus France, which is already... It was already a surprise because they beat Canada and Germany to get to the gold medal game. And they benched Gobert. So Yabusele, who should be in the NBA, I don't know why he's still playing in Real Madrid. I think that there's going to be teams trying to get his services. He's like a Lou Dort, his size, and he can shoot and drive. He's basically like Lou Dort. And Wemby, Evan Fournier, Nicholas Batum, a little bit of Rudy Gobert. Their leading scorer or their leading guard did not score this game. He didn't have it. But he played pretty well, especially going up. He had like 2 30-point games or 2 like high scoring games in lieu on the way to the gold medal game. Victor Wembanyama. The comments that he made after the game, after crying and everything, they're true. He said, I am learning, and I feel bad for my opponents in the next few years. That is true, because that man is scary. But let's get to the game. So I already knew this game would be close. The fifth, I believe it was 8.5. The spread, if not, it was like 15. I knew it was going to be close because France had been playing absolutely incredible in their home court. And this was literally road game. France in Paris in their home with home cooking. That atmosphere was insane. Insane. So what happens? France keeps it close. France keeps it close. We have a little burst by LeBron. We have some Devin Booker, who has been playing great all tournament, playing defending at an extremely high level, making shots when he has them. You know, Ant struggled this game, but I wasn't bothered by it. Now, Tatum didn't play in the semifinal, and he logged in 2 points in this game. Tatum, the whole tournament, could not shoot for his life. Okay? I don't blame Steve Kerr. Now, they're saying Tatum is going to win the MVP and everything. I'm just going to have a couple of names for you just to throw at you over there, to just so you just mull over that pick for MVP. First of all, Luka Doncic. Second, Nikola Jokic. Third, SGA. 4, Giannis. 5, Anthony Edwards. That's 5. I could keep going, though. Because Steph, the way he's playing, could get him one. KD, if he goes nuts, he can get him one. You know? Then you got to think about Jalen Brunson maybe trying to get one. You never know. Maybe he averages 30. You know? Then you still have Kawhi. You know? Could do that. So, just food for thought. Devin Booker. Jaylen Brown. Joel Embiid. Just food for thought. Just food for thought before you choose Jason Tatum as your MVP candidate next year. Okay? Back to the game. We have a lead. Not a big lead, but we have a lead. 8 points, 6 points, 4 points, 8 points, 6 points, 12 points, and we're around there. In the third quarter, we start getting a little sloppy with the ball. Turnover here. Careless pass here. Careless shot here. And France is coming back. We get into the fourth. France cuts it down to 3 points. And the next 3 minutes, or 2:44 when the first shot went down, was one of the greatest basketball sequences offensively that I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of offensive sequences that are incredible, particularly by Steph Curry. But I've seen Dame and Clay and Luka, you know, Jamal when he gets on a heater, Anthony Edwards, LeBron, Wade, Kobe. Yeah, I've seen those outbursts. But this outburst, what is special about this outburst is, one, this was the most watched basketball game in ages. 20 million people were seeing this game. 20 million. Okay? So that's one. The stakes. If you lose this game, USA gets bumped off the pedestal for being the world's basketball superpower against a 20-year-old Victor Wembanyama with a 37-year-old Nick Batum and an Evan Fournier that doesn't even play at his team, if he even is at a team. That would have been embarrassing. Would have also been embarrassing because LeBron, KD, and Steph made this team together for this one purpose of winning this gold medal. Okay? So at the beginning of the game, Steph struggles a little bit. He has 5 turnovers throughout the game, but we get to 3 minutes left. France just made a 3 to cut it down to 3. Steph Curry gets the ball, gets a screen from about, I want to say about 25 feet. Let's go. Boom. 6-point game. Okay. France goes down. Shoots a 3. Wet. Back to 3. Okay. Back to 3. Steph goes down again. LeBron has the ball. LeBron sets him a screen. Ball pops 3 times. LeBron has to it's a pick and roll with him and Bron. And Bron passes him the ball. He pump fakes. Gets Batum out of the air, or Evan Fournier. Gets him out of the way and then shoots. Wet. That's 2. Up 6 again. France goes down again. Hits another 3. Back to 3. Okay. What happens next is incredible. Ball comes up. Steph has it. Passes it to LeBron. LeBron passes it to Booker in the corner. Booker drives. Crashes the defense. Passes it, I think, to AD. And AD goes immediately back to Steph. Wide open. Wet. Boom. Up 6. Go back down. Wemby misses a 3. Wemby's the one going off, by the way, hitting the threes and stuff. And Evan Fournier hit a 3. You know what I'm saying? But Wemby's the one taking control of the French squad. They go back down. Miss the 3. Get the rebound. Okay? Get the rebound. Steph has the ball. They tried to trap him. He gives the ball up to KD. This is the funniest thing ever. KD says, nah, you take it back. You've made 3 in a row. Steph, still double teamed, grabs the ball, goes behind his back at the line, at the 3-point line, looks like he's getting crowded, takes a sidestep dribble, and puts up what's that over there? Oh, I'm Steph Curry. I'm going to shoot this. And then there's a still photo where LeBron James and Kevin Durant are like this, wide open on the left wing. Steph says, nah, screw that. I'm going to shoot this over these two, and I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. When he sunk that 3, that arena exploded. And the funniest thing is that Carmelo was right there. Was right there. One of the most legendary Olympic players of all time. The guy with the highest scoring game, but it was in pool play. Curry had the highest in elimination play with 36. And Curry hits that shot to complete a 17 for 26 stretch. 62% from 3 in the last 2 games of the Olympics. To go up 9, and he comes up with the final steal to end it after we get a defensive stop and LeBron throws it to Devin Booker for a dunk. Steph went 4-4-4, 12 points in the final 3 minutes of the game. By the way, the last 3 was with 33 seconds left. Cinema. Absolute cinema. Okay? And, for Steph to do that, to add that last accolade that you could possibly add to his resume. The last thing that he was missing with the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Kobes was the Olympic medal. And he's the one that took it. He's the one that took us to the promised land. Now, LeBron got tournament MVP. I understood that because he was the most consistent player in the U.S. and voting opened right before semifinals. So I get it. But if there was a real MVP, it was Steph. No shade to LeBron. LeBron had 14, 10, and 6 in the last game. No shade at all. Devin Booker, unsung MVP. Shout out to Steve Kerr. KD was KD, hitting big shots, threes, step backs, little middies. Ant struggled a little bit, but Ant impressed me. He was the leading scorer until Curry went nuts. He was the leading scorer for the tournament for Team USA until Curry went nuts. He finished as the leading scorer. And, the leading scorers were Steph, Bron, and KD. So what does that mean? Well, it means for Steph, they're starting to call him the best point guard of all time. Listen, I'm not here to have that debate. I love Magic. My dad's favorite player is Magic Johnson. So there's nothing I can say that will convince you or my dad otherwise that Magic is the best of all time, and all he will say is 5 rings. I get it. I love Steph too. And they're right there. Right there. Okay? Now, if Steph were to get another Finals MVP and another championship, then we can have a conversation, because 5 championships to 5 championships, and you see what Steph has done, it's an argument to me. Now, the All-NBAs and all that, I get it, but Steph has played longer. Okay? Yeah, this was just an all-time legacy defining moment for LeBron, Steph, and KD. And it's in that order because LeBron has been the icon for 20 years. Steph has been right there with them for 15, and KD's been right there with them. But the night celebration by the whole team, when he hit the shot, Ant went like, what? Tyrese was like, who shouts that? Steph Curry. It was incredible. As a basketball fan, as a sports fan, as a fan of Steph Curry, it was absolutely incredible, and that will forever be etched in my mind. And if I had a camera on myself every time 1-3 went down. When the first 3 went down, I was like, ooh, yeah. When the second 3 went down, I was like, ugh. When the third 3 went down, I was like, ooh, Steph. When the last 3 went down, I went nuts. I was like, that's why they call him Chef Curry. That is Steph. Steph. That's how I was. Because that's how emotionally invested I was. Not only with this team, but with him and his whole career. So shout out to the USA men's basketball team. Shout out to Bam. Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton for holding it down at, giving out waters. That was really big. Shout out to Jason Tatum for showing up, and being supportive and acting like a professional. Shout out to Embiid for showing up in the semifinal. Shout out to Devin Booker for being the unsung MVP. Getting assignments of their best guards, locking down, playing complimentary basketball. Shout out to Ant. I think he's gonna be an MVP candidate this year, a big one. I think 30 a game is in this touching distance. Just saying. Shout out to KD. Shout out to Steph. Shout out to LeBron. And for all you people over there that didn't like what Steve Kerr was doing, shout out to Steve Kerr, Ty Lue, and Eric Spoelstra. This was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in basketball. Game-wise was incredible. Atmosphere was like an NBA Finals. And it was absolutely incredible. And I will forever remember this Olympics. Now, we tied China 40-40. 40 gold medals and 40 gold medals. We won the medal count by a mile, but we won 40-40. But when you look at China and you look at U.S., 2 different type of dominations in different disciplines. Now, we dabble in each other's disciplines from time to time, weightlifting, archery, diving. But for the most part, China dominates a specific type of sport, whether it's badminton, table tennis, men's gymnastics. For us, we dominate basketball, water polo, volleyball, although the women lost this year and got silver, women's gymnastics, track and field, water polo, soccer in the women's side. China dominates diving, synchronized swimming, very different apparatuses but for us to both be 40-40, that's incredible. Over 2 weeks, that is insane. And they're going to pick it up in the London games. Now let's get to some of the track stuff that happened. Sydney McLaughlin. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sid is the GOAT. What an absolute destruction fest. The way Sydney destroyed people in the 400-meter hurdles. Lowered her own world record that she had six times before. I mean, it just utter domination. Nobody could challenge her. It was absolutely incredible. Rai Benjamin. That was incredible in the hurdles, and the relay was insane. Because Quincy Hall, the 400-meter champ, you know, I mean, the way Quincy won that race was incredible. And he is a dog, you know, got to give it to him. Noah got COVID and got bronze in the 200 with Leslie Tobogo of Botswana getting gold. Absolutely incredible. And then came the medleys. And the men's mess up in the 100. Can't get the 4x100. They can't get the first exchange off. Kenny Bernard takes off too quick, and the exchange just goes wrong. So we can't win that one. But when we get to the 400, specifically the women's, what a lineup. What an absolute lineup we put up. We sent up there TT, Gabby Thomas, the 200-meter gold medalist, if not the 4. And then ended it. Actually, no, the second leg was Sydney. And we're going to talk about what happened in that second leg. Then Gabby. And then came the 21-year-old, not Richardson. I forgot her name. But she finished it. But the lead was so big that it didn't matter. Because TT took the first leg and ran incredible, had us like around even at the turn when the baton got to pass to Sydney. And Sydney took off. She ran the second fastest split all time in the 400. Passes off to Gabby Thomas. She's already gone by this point. Like people, they were handing off the baton. People were still running. Gabby takes off 400 meters of just blazing pace, and then they pass it off to the last girl, and we win by a shit ton. And that was the last track and field gold medal. Track and field event. In the 400, Quincy couldn't go. But we had Rai Benjamin, the 400-meter hurdle champion, and that boy won it. Didn't get caught by Leslie Tobogo. Had enough at the end to stave him off. So, overall, you know, the women's soccer team won 1-0 with Swanson. Yeah, Dansby Swanson's wife scoring the game-winning goal in the final versus Brazil. Really nice goal. Really nice for the soccer women to go back to the top after people thought they had fell off. Even with this young team, yeah, they're still the ones. Okay. Now, the women's won 67-66 versus France, just like the men's. And it would have gone to overtime had Gabby Williams from France not stepped on the line. She shot a 20-footer instead of a 21-footer. I mean, she shot a 19 3/4 footer instead of a 20-footer, which was where the 3 line is. And she made the 2, but as time expired, but it didn't matter. She needed 3. So I was close. But they win 8 straight. Diana Taurasi retires with 6 straight gold medals. Just like KD. KD has 4. Only player ever to have 4. 4 straight. Most decorated basketball Olympian of all time. Men's. Because Diana has 6. So overall, man, shout out to Team America, Team USA. Showed out at these games. I absolutely love the Olympics. Can't wait for them to come to LA. And yeah, well, 2028, baby. You know? All right. Let's talk a little bit about NASCAR. So I didn't know the Richmond race was this past weekend. So I literally caught it as it was starting. This was also the first race they used, or the first or second race that they used 2 different type of compound tires, just like Indy and, Formula One uses 3, but, a different set, a different type of tire. And this tire at Richmond, the primary, compared to the soft, was almost 3 seconds a lap. People were catching up, especially on warm primaries. So the lead went from Denny Hamlin to Christopher Bell to, Javi Martin Truex up there. And then out of nowhere, strategy calls started making. Starting with Daniel Suarez. He takes a soft in the second stage and sees what happened. What happens? He goes from 30th to 1st. That was the difference in the tires. But they last less. So you had to really strategize, and you only had 2 sets. So you really had to strategize when were you going to take those sets and were they going to last enough for you to go for the win. All in all, mostly everybody saved their sets for the third and final stage. And starting the last stage, not even starting, through the last stage, Austin Dillon was getting close to the front. Very close. And he got to second. And once he got to second, he passed Joey Logano for first. And there was 3 laps left. And right in front of him, boom, crash. Overtime. Now, Austin Dillon hadn't won in 2 years, and he runs for RCR, and his grandfather is Richard Childress, who was the car owner of Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's why Austin Dillon runs the 3 for his grandpa. The iconic 3. Hadn't been in victory lane for 3 years. For 2 years, excuse me. And the end of this race, Joey Logano goes on the choose, goes to the top. Austin goes to the bottom. They're both on softs. A little bit worn, but they're both on softs. But when the restart comes, Joey gets the better launch and is even with him going into turn 1. Coming out of turn 2, he's already pulling away and clears him going into getting out of turn 4. Now, Austin tries to catch up. Meanwhile, they're taking the white. Austin's trying to catch up. And he loses a little bit of ground in the back straightaway. Austin, wanting to win as bad as he did, is about 4 car lengths back by the time they get to turn 3. And this man overshoots the corner. I'm talking about he's supposed to turn left, and this man just stayed straight and said, I'm going through you. Hits Joey Logano, turns him into the wall, slows Austin down, so Denny Hamlin pulls beside him and almost passes him. Except he tries to get in front of Austin Dillon, and Austin Dillon clips him, sends him spinning, and wins the race. Logano and Denny were highly upset after the race, and understandably so. But when a guy hasn't won in 2 years and is fighting for a playoff spot, I can't blame him. It's racing. And, maybe there's consequences down the road, but I'm happy for Austin Dillon to get this win. And I'm happy that RCR is finally showing some pace. Now we need Kyle Busch to show some pace. So hopefully in the next race, Kyle Busch maybe does a little something. But shout out to Austin Dillon. Hell of a race. Hell of a strategy call. And a hell of a move. Ballsy. Real ballsy. Especially to two guys who are going to the Hall of Fame. Two champions. You know, two guys that are very well respected and have been in the sport for nearly 20 years. Yeah. Bold move, Austin, but proud of you for winning. All right. Preseason. I'm not going to get into mushy about everything. I'm going to talk about the rookies that I saw because game one of the preseason, the limited amount of reps is incredible. I'm glad that Caleb Williams got, I believe, like 16, 17 pass attempts, something like that. I'm glad Bo Nix got a lot of work. I wish I could have seen a little bit more of Jaden Daniels, but he did what he had to do. The only guy I have questions about is Drake May, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. But let's go in order. Caleb Williams. The comp was Patrick Mahomes. I know it's only one preseason game, but what I saw was very Patrick Mahomesian. No look over the top pass to DeAndre Swift for like 40 yards. Running full speed to the right and just slinging a 25-yard bullet on the move. Taking off when he needs to. I saw everything I needed to see. Now it's just about stacking good days and good games on top of each other. And I'm sure that the Chicago Bears will have a very successful season. Let's talk about Jaden Daniels. Exciting, explosive, whippy arm. What did we see? Right off the bat, second play of the game, 42-yard bomb to De'Ami Brown. On the money. Probably the best throw that we saw all preseason, in my opinion. And then he runs it in from 3 yards out, shows the speed, shows the reading ability. He only got two I think he only got 2 drives, but game one. And I understand this is not against defenses that they're going to see. I understand. You don't have to tell me this. But the talent, you see it. You see the talent. Okay? And that's the important thing, that the talent that you saw in college is still the same talent that you're seeing even if it's the preseason of the NFL. Drake May needs a year of the incubator. Needs a year. It's just what it is. He needs a year. It's okay. It's okay. New England's going to suck. Yes, we know this. Then we'll move on to Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not sure if he even played. Haven't heard nothing about him. Nothing. So I don't think he played. J.J. McCarthy. Loved it. Loved watching him play. Loved watching him play. 3 big touchdown passes. 1 interception, but that's going to happen. But what I saw is that even though he didn't take deep shots at Michigan, when he did do it, he was very accurate. Well, Kevin O'Connell, is clearly knows and knew that he could throw the deep ball with this kid because he's accurate. He found Tristan Johnson twice for touchdowns, and then found Trent Sherfield for a touchdown while J.J. Jefferson was on the sideline, being having a mic on him, mic'd up. It was incredible. He's just gonna grow. Once J.J. gets on that field with Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson, it's gonna be a different animal, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a different animal. Dallas Turner was incredible. Loved it. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Tenacious, going after. I loved it. Michael Penix Jr. Exactly what we thought we would see. Ballsy throws, throws over the top, throws over the middle, zipping on the ball. Loved everything I saw about him. calm in the pocket and just slanging. Bo Nix, loved everything I saw about him. Everything that we thought that Sean Payton would do with this kid is exactly what he's doing. Every single thing. He's using him like Drew Brees. He's also using him like Bo Nix. Those touchdowns he scored, straight out of the Oregon playbook. Very, very encouraged by the quarterbacks that I saw this week. The rookies, very impressed. Anthony Richardson came back, a little rusty. Not worried about it. Not worried about it. Saw CJ Stroud for one drive. That's all I needed to see. He has it. He's back. He's back. So is Tank Dell. Saw Stetson Bennett throw 4 picks. Also saw him win the game. That's what a guy who's been there, done that, and has 2 national championships, kind of, the confidence is still there, And then we saw A.D. Mitchell catch some balls. But when it comes to the wide receivers, Brock Bowers, when it comes to the wide receivers, it has to be in the regular season. Because to me, that's when you truly show maybe you and the cornerback have like a deal in the preseason. Hey, we're going to get some work in, but if the ball doesn't come or anything like that, we cool. So I think a guy like Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, you're going to see them excel in the regular season. Patrick Mahomes, nothing to worry about. Hollywood Brown, scary injury, but he will be back for game 1. I believe he will be. Takes a month. I believe he will be back for game 1. If he's not, still got Xavier Worthy, still got Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco. Good hands. Good hands. So at least, for what Patrick Mahomes can do with that cast, I think that they're in good hands. So that was preseason. Very entertaining. At some points, it was monotony. But overall, pretty good. MLB. We're going to end with this. The races are incredible. Okay? The races in the MLB right now are absolutely incredible. And the teams that are taking advantage of this, Houston Astros have woken up. Breggy, Jordan, Yiner, no Kyle Tucker yet, which was an MVP candidate earlier this season. No Kyle Tucker yet. Altuve batting over 300. Peña's doing well. DeZenzo, the rookie, he's hitting the ball pretty good. So the Astros are doing well. Baltimore and New York are in this stalemate, tied atop of the AL East. Jackson Holliday already has 4 bombs from getting called up again. I told you this kid was the number 1 prospect in the league. It was not going to take him long after having a stint up there and learning, being humbled a bit, how to play this game. Look at his dad. I wasn't worried about Jackson Holliday. He's playing second base great. They kept Gunnar at second. That's at shortstop. That's what they should have done. Anthony Santander's hitting the shit out of the ball. You still have Jordan Westberg. You still have Colton Cowser, who could be battling for Rookie of the Year. So it's incredible what Baltimore can do, but can the pitching hold up? That's it. Can the pitching hold? Can Dean Kramer hold up? I don't have to worry about Corbin. But Dean Kramer, Grayson Rodriguez, will he be completely healthy? And then the rest, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Suarez is playing well, though. For the Yankees, what a signing. What a trade. Jazz Chisholm Jr. This kid has everything you want in a superstar. Everything. The swag, the confidence, and such a beautiful swing. And when you surround them with Aaron Judge and Soto, you get a dangerous combination. Because the kid can play third base. He plays good third base. He had a couple errors this past last game, but I'm not worried about that. And then also, he hits the shit out of the ball. But when you protect him with Soto, Judge, Giancarlo, Glaber if he's going, LeMahieu, you allow him to be free and not be tense. The reason that he was so strong up here in Miami is because he was the only guy the pitching had to worry about. The guy that could beat you was him. Because if he got on base or he hit a bomb, the team, fed off of that. So absolutely mega signing by the mega trade by the Yankees and could propel them to the World Series. We're going to talk about the wild card after we talk about the main leaders because we're only going to talk about certain divisions because only certain divisions are actually close. For example, the Central is 3.5 games. Cleveland used to be up like 8 or 9. And the Twins and KC, 4 and 3.5 respectively, are right there. Bobby Witt Jr. and Aaron Judge is going to be a hellacious run to the MVP. I think it's between them two. One is hitting 348. That's Bobby, leading the league in hits. And the other guy is swinging 324, leading the league in homers and in OPS. And I believe OPS plus. One is a shortstop, one of the best in the league, top 3. And electric on the bases. The other one has such control of the plate that, like Barry Bonds, if it's in the vicinity of the zone of the strike zone, you can kiss it goodbye. What a race. What a race. So Cleveland is up 3.5 in 4 games on KC. You got Houston and Seattle still tied for number 1 in the West. Still tied. And the Seattle Mariners just came off a 3-game stretch of just pitching utter dominance. Dominance. Absolute dominance. Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo. Absolute dominance. I think a 0.33 ERA across those 3 games with those 3 starters. That's why they're a threat in the playoffs when they make it, because I believe they'll make it. But that's why they're a threat in the playoffs. Because of that rotation. That's not even mentioning George Kirby or Brian Wu. In my opinion, that's why they're dangerous. Julio came back. He just has to find a rhythm. Kyle Raleigh hit 2 bombs. He is looking like the best power catcher in the league right now. Just 26, 27 bombs. Or 36. One of those. And I know it's about, I'm at a 10 home run difference, but yeah, I think he might be at 27, leading all catchers. Then you go to the National League. Phillies pretty much got the division set up by 7.5 games over the Braves. You go Milwaukee 7.5 games up on the Cardinals. And the Dodgers are 3.5 games up on the Arizona and 3.5 games up on the Padres, so that's a little closer. Milwaukee's dangerous because every time I see them, William Contreras, Willie Adames, Bryce Terang, Joey Ortiz, Jackson Churio, the rookie, just get it done at the plate. They just find a way. For LA, Mookie came back today. Now, I think that 3.5 game lead either is going to stay like that or shrink. The reason I say shrink is because Arizona's on a tear. They're 8-2 and have won 8 straight. They have won 3 straight. On the back of Brandon Pfaadt, Ketel Marte got hurt. I think he's going to be fine, but he got hit, I think, and he got hurt. On the back of finally, Corbin Carroll figuring it out at the plate again, hitting bombs to the other side of the field, not trying to pull, being himself. McCarthy swinging the hell out of the bat. Jock Peterson swinging the hell out of the bat. They still don't have no Christian Walker. Lourdes Gurriel swinging good. Alec Thomas is swimming good. Del Castillo, their new rookie, is swinging good. So they're on a roll. And they got Merrill Kelly back. They're number 2 behind Zach Allen. So with Zach Allen, Merrill Kelly, if he's fully on go, which, it looks like he is, and Brandon Pfaadt, that third spot, Ryan Nelson, he's been doing good over the last few games. If he can solidify that 4th spot, then I think maybe they have a shot at catching the Dodgers. And for San Diego, they just have some of the best bats in the league. You got Xander, you got Manny, Hassan Kim, Cronenworth. Merrill Kelly is probably the rookie of the year in the NL if it's not Paul Skeens or Shota. But bat-wise, Merrill Kelly. For sure. If not Jackson Chourio. And they're all in the NL. Which is crazy. If we go to the wild card, which is nuts, the Yankees are 4.5 games up on the Twins. The Twins are half a game up on KC, and KC's 2.5 games up on Seattle. This is going to come down to the wire. Boston's 3 games back. Once you get to Tampa Bay, 6 games. That's a little much right now. It's a little much. But the Twins, the Royals, Mariners, and Red Sox are going to battle it out for those last 2 spots. And it's going to be incredible cinema to see. In the National League, it's even crazier. In the National League, Arizona has played so well, they're +4 on Atlanta. Atlanta's on the last spot, and San Diego is +4, tied with Arizona. So Atlanta has to deal with the Mets are half a game back. San Francisco has fought all the way back to a game and a half with beautiful pitching and hitting from Tyler Fitzgerald, Elliot Ramos. I mean, they got people hitting right now, the young kids. Chapman. St. Louis is 2 games back. They need to figure out the hitting. Pitching is good enough. I don't think it's right there, but they can do something with their pitching. The Cubs are 3.5 games back. Cincinnati's 4 games back, and Pittsburgh is 5 games back. That's, I think, it. I don't think the Nationals 8 games back. I don't think they make it back. So that's what we're looking at. And man, is it going to be a race towards the end. It's going to be so exciting. With that, this concludes episode 129 of the Exec Talk podcast with your host, Alvarez. I love you guys. God bless you. Thank you for supporting me. We're going to get bigger. The set's going to get better. But I love you guys for supporting me since day one. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Write comments. Follow me on all my socials. I love you guys, and I leave you with the outro.
Que todos quieren ser el chamaquito que no puede